Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit nervous. And I don't really think it's a bad thing for me. I believe it's a sign of respecting your work. Because if you are just taking it easy and you told yourself that, it's just, then it means there's a problem there. It's a privilege and honor for me to be here on this stage today and share my story. For me, Heavy Chef is not just any platform, but it's a great platform that has hosted one of the great giants in Africa. And for me personally, I never thought anytime soon that I'll get a chance to be featured on this platform. Because I remember about a year ago when I first visited the space, how I was so glued on the Inspire session to a point that I told myself each and every week or two, I'll visit their social media platforms to get to know who will be the next speaker, not knowing that in a couple of months' time, I'll actually be featured on this space. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Thulani Mguda. I was born and bred here in Cape Town. Rootley, I'm from Eastern Cape, but I've never went back Endlini because it's cheap and kulele pick up. The kula from Ilogishi that is called the Gugulethu. Of course, growing up in the township, I believe it's a war because there are a lot of challenges and there are a lot of obstacles that you need to face and to conquer. There are obstacles as far as crime. There are obstacles as far as gangsterism. There are obstacles as far as drugs such as utywala as well. And out of all those obstacles, I've actually been a victim of some of them. Growing up in Lokshini, I was born in a family of 8. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my 5 siblings. And Gugulethu, my background was not so smooth. I would say, estradweni, we were actually one of the poorest, I would say. So that actually made me in the decisions as a wrong life in. So growing up, I was involved in the gangsterism. I was involved with crime. I was doing a lot of things, such as hijacker, such as I won't go deep into details, but basically, all that I did actually landed me at Balsmo one day, and not once, not twice, but more than 3 times. And I realized that life yam ndiyayithatha and ndibhekisa kwaNtshabalala. There are 3 things. It's either I'm gonna end up in jail, or I'm gonna die, or I'll end up being a druggie and not serving the purpose that I was born for in life. So eventually, when all these things were happening, I sat down this other day when I was actually in Paulsmo. I think this was the 3rd time, which was the year 2012. And I did what you call introspection. I asked myself, and like, what is it that you want in life? Were you born to live this kind of reckless life and die, or were you born to serve something? Of which I believe that's where my life turned for better, because from there I moved. That decided I'm going to move to Johannesburg. Family. And then at Johannesburg, I met with great people that actually influenced me for better, that made me to dream, that made me to want more in life than obomi obendipila. But now, what the disadvantage of Yona is that I dropped out early eskolweni kakhulu. Yeah, and I dropped out early with grade encinci, so now it was hard to go to ngifumane umsebenzi. You understand? So I had the responsibilities that I had to take care of which it's my family and bendinomdana, which is my daughter, and I also had to take care of myself. So as I was busy living I was introduced to business, of which it's the entrepreneurship journey. I started by ukuthengisa paints. From there, subsequently, I added the pillows. I also sold ingubo, izinto ezinjalo. And then I gained interest for interior design. But due to the fact that I didn't have a technique or any background when it comes to this. It didn't survive for a long time. From there, I met up with the Autiam, which I grew up with, Tumi Mayenge, which is my business partner. That's when my restaurant, Orgasmic Gawulo, was born, which is right now. Yeah. So when we started Orgasmic Gawulo, our vision was actually to change the perception of food, elokishini, and also the entertainment by infusing the Kasi lifestyle and also the suburb. I would say the experience that you normally get in the pubs, normally. So ukuze si achieve lendo, you had to do a certain research because you can't just do into ongayaziyo nje nanjani na. So we did the research here too. And we initiated this business. When we started very, very, very small because we had an old food truck, Sasi based at Gugulethu, opposite to KFC mall. We used to sold sandwiches, salads as well, because the concept Sasi introduced elokishini, abantu were not really familiar with it. Yes, food has been sold elokishini, but our people were exposed amagwinya, your fried chicken, chips, and something like that. But now we were introducing something new, ekasi. Not necessarily new, but it dishes that they know, but then a facelift, I would say. So from Apo, CSR expanded to this space where we officially launched ourselves as a restaurant, whereby people can come and dine and sit down. So from Apo, there were a lot of challenges, of course, because when we started this business, we didn't have any sort of funding or anything. So at some point, I had to lose some of my personal belongings, such as a cell phone, such as my laptop, because I believed in this dream and I believed in this vision. But I knew ukuze achieve it'll take more than just ukwenza, but to invest in this dream, because there was no one ongomnye always fika ati uya invest kwiphupha lam. But however, one of the mistakes when we moved from the food truck to this space was actually to have a verbal agreement, which is one of the most important things in business you need to be careful of. You don't dive into indenjalo, never ever make a verbal agreement in business. Everything that you do in business, you need to make sure that it's written in black and white. So I think about 3 months when we moved to this space, business politics that were there, so it forced us to go to a business isinge. Yeah, we had to close down the business. Now, when we were closing down the business, it was almost a piquete because abantu were starting to enjoy this thing. Now we have a fine dining restaurant, a lokishini. But however, a situation has forced to go to Valley and we moved to my house, a garage, which the takeaways. But now the challenge is that when we moved to my house, it was almost a winter season, and the garage that we were using didn't have utang or door or windows and so on and so forth. And in market here too, it's a broad market. Mostly it's not based in Gugulethu. They are based around the townships there to some in the pubs in town, in Kells River, in Parklands, and so on. Now people actually didn't see a need of moving all the way from Upper Bebe Corner and just come and buy takeaway. So now a business was actually making a loss, kakul, because business food is a very delicate business. It's a very delicate business. I find with other businesses, unlike like a laptop, if you go to the shop and you're taking a laptop, if you come next week, you'll find the laptop there. But with food, if you don't buy today, chances are tomorrow it'll be a waste, and a waste, it means it's a loss. And here we are not having any funding, and now we were stuck. It was a matter of Uguti, what do we do with this? Do we close down entirely or senza njani na? From there, saye sahlala phansi andithatha namsebenzi, and awuthiyami le benivulena business yena is actually a chef by profession. He went to culinary art school. So for him, things were a bit easier because he could easily give ile CV yakhe afumana umsebenzi. But for Mna, there's only 2 things now that I know. It's the notorious life that I lived, of which uphila ngendlovu yangena, or I'll hustle ukuthi le business ivuke. Of course, ndienda zami ukuthi ndibe ne-relationships that I'm building to a point that I ended up ndiboleka imali ebantwini, which nazo ziyezanixabanisa nabantu abaninzi because uboleka imali emntwini umthembisa ukuthi ndizayibuyisa le mali when this thing is coming to life, and ufumaniseka ukuthi i-plans they don't go according to le ndlela wena ufuna ngayo. So that actually affected i-relationships zami ezininzi, not by intentions, but because this thing was beyond the control yam. And also, as a kid who grew up in Lokshini, I didn't have any sort of a role model from Endlini. I grew up in a broken family, and Estratweni, like Musia has mentioned before, Gute Lokshini, we have two role models, those who do positive and those who do negative. And it happened, Guti, I was influenced by those who do the negative. So I didn't know any language besides the negative one. Now it was a matter of Uguti, I have to unlearn and relearn again. Uguti ngoku, mindset has to change. Luckily enough, 3 months down the line, after we were forced to close, we got a call from a brand called the Musgrave Gin. They called us and they told us Uguti, they read an article ngati from Cape Town magazine, and they are doing a opulence botanical dinner. So they would love to feature us, in fact, Kulendo Bayenzai. And through God's grace, that was actually Pagama Orgasmic Gawulo again. Yeah. After the feature, yeah, but Sayesa Fumana another space again, whereby Sayesa regained strength to, and now, of course, we were almost starting over again. We had to regroup, we had to re-strategize. How are we going to convince these people? Because after we initiated these, we also got the competitions, basically, direct competitors. And now these competitors had an upper hand because when they started these, they done a research job, and also they have studied our game and they had a funding. So now we were actually fighting for, not necessarily fighting, but we were actually sharing a market. So we had to convince again our people, Ogotibas. But here's the thing about this. Again, we made a mistake and we didn't do any contract that was written down. About a year after it happened, Uguti, the owner of the space had other plans with the space. And now this time around, our business was actually booming. We were gaining traction from all around. We were having clients like tourists from overseas, School of London, Business School of London, everywhere basically. So things were just starting to make more sense for us now. And the guy actually approached us and told us, Uguti, guys, this is it for me. Our journey ends here. And we didn't have much because we were paying some of the debts that we did before. So it was a very frustration time for us. It was a very depressing time for us. It was just dark. It was dark for me. It was dark for me. Like I said, Uguti, I don't have any now yokwela, but now it's this business, and a business demands you to be hands-on ukuze succeed. And now my only source of income was this thing, and I don't have any other income aside it. Now it meant to Guti, again, I have to move back and do what I did. But because I believe in vision and I believe in my dream, and I believe in order for you to achieve what you want, kumele ube ne spirit of not giving up. You understand that? Because when I look back, in fact, even though I didn't have materialistic things, but the knowledge that I gained, the relationships that I've gained, when I looked, I was like, but this is what I want, this is what I need, because these circles were positive people, were people that were influencing me for better. I've met with Osiam Papa, I've met with Oati, I've met with great people that were doing great things at Lokshin, of which for me it's about wisdom, it's about knowledge. With those you can open any door, you understand that. So sometimes it's not really about the materialistic things. But along this journey, there were failures, there were successes as well. One of our successes is the fact that we had been featured on big platforms of media, such as Cape Town magazine, Cape Town radio station, Food 24, Cape Town TV, and Expresso as well. So those are actually huge platforms, SCS Fumana, which made brand to be more established and to be more recognized and be respected by abantu, to a point that today we get calls from big brands that want to collaborate with us. And for that, of course, we are grateful and we feel blessed. Recently, about a week ago, sifumene space esicha apho khona sizoba based khona ngoku. We were doing a grand launch here on Saturday, and the space is bigger, it's better, we have a new menu, and we are just becoming better versions of ourselves. But each and every level, I mean, it demands a different person of when you can never use the strategies level 1 on level 2. So the more you grow, the more challenges become more harder. Yeah, but so basically that's my journey. Like I said, I'm a bit nervous, and somehow this is my first talk ever. Oguma, yeah, this is my first talk ever. Yeah, it's my first talk ever, and I remember when I heard Uguti abantu that I'll be sharing the stage nabo, Gusikelela, Mpondo. Yeah, experience-wise, as a dominator, yeah, but I was like, but then this is my story, yeah, this is my story, yeah, you feel my chapter from me. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for